Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello students, let us discuss the medieval period. All these days we have gone through the earlier developments in Indian history, that is the ancient period, up to last class, even to the Chalukyan and Hoysala period. But now we have to go through the medieval period in the Indian history, especially the Muslim rule which started in India, that is the Delhi Sultanate. Delhi Sultanate, they ruled India in the 5 different dynasties, especially the great dynasties. They ruled India. And in the beginning, after the fall of and death of Harshavardhana, there was no strong ruler to rule India, or especially North India was disturbed because there was no very strong power. Nearly 70 independent states, they existed in the northern India, and that is why there was no unity. And because of this, the first Muslims invaded India, that is Arabs in 712 Common Era. Arabs, they invaded Sindh area in 712 AD or era, and later Turks invaded. Turks came to India. That is how Muslim powers invaded India from time to time. From the beginning, Arabs and later Turks, and after him Muhammad Ghori, he invaded India or led his expedition for 17 times. 17 times. Well, when Muhammad Ghori came to India, along with him a Persian scholar also accompanied him, that is Al-Biruni. So there will be a question, who accompanied Muhammad Ghori? That is Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni was a Persian scholar. He wrote Kitab ul Hind. This is Al-Biruni's book, Kitab ul Hind. In this Kitab ul Hind, Al-Biruni explained the expedition of Muhammad Ghori. So after the death of Muhammad Ghori in 1030 Common Era, after the death of Muhammad Ghori, and the Indian conquered empire, or Muhammad Ghori established an empire in India, and that was given to his in 11, and that is after Turks, that is Muhammad Ghazni invaded India. Muhammad Ghazni was accompanied with the Al-Biruni, a Persian scholar, and that Persian scholar, that is Al-Biruni, who wrote Kitab ul Hind. in this Kitab ul Hind, he explained the Muhammad Ghazani's expedition. So after Muhammad Ghazani, after the death of Muhammad Ghazani in 1030, Muhammad Ghori, he invaded India in 1191 Common Era. Muhammad Ghori came to India in 1191, and Muhammad Ghori fought two continuous battles with the Rajput king Prithviraj Chauhan. That is the first battle of Tarain in 1191, and the second battle of Tarain in 1192. So these two battles were fought by Muhammad Muhammad Ghori, and he defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in this battle. And he established, an empire. That is the Muhammad Ghori. He established an empire in India. That is the Muslim empire for the first time. And after this, after the death of Muhammad Ghori, Qutbuddin Aibak, or during this period itself, the Indian possession of Muhammad Ghori even shifted to his slave, or very trusted slave and general, Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak was a trusted general and slave of Muhammad Ghori, and he, after some time, Qutbuddin Aibak declared himself an independent, and he got the permission of Caliph of Baghdad, and he established first Muslim empire, that is the slave dynasty. That is the slave dynasty. Qutbuddin Aibak, he established slave dynasty. And slave dynasty, they ruled in between 1206 to 1290 Common Era. Slave dynasty followed by Khilji dynasty. Khilji dynasty, they ruled 1292 1320 Common Era. And third dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, they ruled 1320 to 1413. And fourth dynasty, that is Sayyid dynasty. They ruled 1414 to 1451. And the last dynasty of Sultanate of Delhi, that is Lodhi dynasty, and that is 1451 to 1526. Well, the slave dynasty, it was the first dynasty among the Sultanate of Delhi. They ruled from 1206 to 1290. Why this dynasty came to be known as slave dynasty? The rulers of this dynasty, either they themselves the slaves or descendants of the slaves. Hope you understood. The slaves, the rulers of the slave dynasty, either they themselves they are the slaves or descendants of the slaves. For example, the first ruler, that is who is the founder, I said Qutbuddin Aibak was the slave of Muhammad Ghori. He established the dynasty and after his death. And this Qutbuddin Aibak, he established Qutub Minar at Delhi. Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar. This is the great achievement of Qutbuddin Aibak. So this is how we can see the development. Later, one more dynasty, as we discussed, Khilji dynasty. So Khilji dynasty is very important to note. We have to discuss the achievement of the founder. And Jalaluddin Khilji, Jalaluddin Khilji was the founder of this dynasty, and he was succeeded by his nephew Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji. Or Jalaluddin was the uncle of Alauddin Khilji, but Alauddin Khilji came to power after the death of Jalaluddin Khilji. Actually, Alauddin Khilji poisoned this Jalaluddin Khilji and came to power. And we have to discuss the important conquest of Alauddin Khilji. We have to see, that is very important. Alauddin Khilji. So Alauddin Khilji, among the Khiljis or among the Sultanate of Delhi, we have two important. One is Alauddin Khilji, and let us discuss about him. His conquest, Alauddin Khilji's conquest. That is, after establishment of Khilji dynasty, now Alauddin Khilji came to power. He started a conquest in order to extend and establish this Khilji empire as a strong empire. For that purpose, he conquered northern and southern part of India, or he led an expedition towards north and south. Let us see his northern campaign. Northern campaign. Yes, northern campaign. That is conquest of Gujarat. First one, Gujarat. Gujarat was a Rajput kingdom ruled by Karan Deva. Karan Dev was the king of Gujarat. He ruled, Gujarat as a very good kingdom, and Alauddin Khilji attacked and captured that Gujarat kingdom ruled by Karan Dev, and he captured even queen of Karan Dev, Kamala Devi. Kamala Devi. So this Kamala Devi, she was the queen of king of Gujarat, and Alauddin married after capturing her. Kamala Devi was married by Alauddin Khilji after the capture, because their generals captured this Kamala Devi, and thus he could able to conquer Gujarat. And secondly, the northern state, that is conquest of Ranatambur. Ranatambur. Raja Hamir Dev. Hamir Dev was the ruler of Ranatambur. It is also a Rajput kingdom. He had given shelter to the enemies of Alauddin Khilji, and he stopped even the tribute. And that is why, by keeping this reason, Alauddin Khilji attacked Ranthambore and defeated them. And the third conquest was conquest of Mewar, Mewar state. That is the capital, Chittor. So Mewar, one of the greatest and strong, unconquerable, kingdom of Rajput. But here, this Mewar also attacked by Alauddin Khilji, and it was a strong kingdom ruled by Rana Ratan Singh. Rana Ratan Singh was the ruler of Mewar state, and he defeated Alauddin Khilji, defeated Rana Ratan Singh and his wife Padmini, and along with other women she committed Johar. Johar means a sacrifice of women, it's a sort of suicide. It's a sort of suicide committed by women after the death of their husband, and that is called Johar. And even that's very great event taken place during that period, and thus Alauddin Khilji was able to capture even the Mewar state. And this is about the northern. What about the southern conquest of Alauddin Khilji? After establishing his sway over in the northern part, Alauddin Khilji, he tried his best to conquer the southern part of India, the southern part of India, especially expedition of Devagiri. Devagiri. Ramachandra Deva was the king of Devagiri. Why Devagiri was attacked? Because Ramachandra Deva stopped the tribute which was given to Khiljis. That's why they attacked Devagiri. And another reason was they gave shelter to Karan Dev, and he was defeated in the battle. It was a great defeat, and Devagiri was captured by Alauddin Khilji. And second one, Warangal, in the southern campaign, Warangal. Warangal was ruled by Prataparudra Deva, and Malikafar, the general of Alauddin Khilji, he marched towards Warangal and captured the Warangal, and large quantity of wealth was plundered from Warangal and taken to Khilji Empire. And then the third southern conquest was the conquest of Madurai. Conquest of Madurai. In Madurai, there was a civil war between Sundara Pandya and his brother. Madurai. That is Veera Pandya and Sundara Pandya. So, since it was a civil war, by using this opportunity, Alauddin Khilji, he captured his empire, and they were completely defeated, and huge wealth was taken by him. And one more conquest, that is a conquest of Dwarasamudra. Conquest of Dwarasamudra, or a conquest against Hoysalas of Dwarasamudra. It was Veera Ballala III was the ruler during that period, and Malikafar, the general of Khilji rule, he invaded Dwarasamudra or Halebeedu and demolished the structures there, and even they defeated these Hoysalas. So this was a great defeat for Hoysala ruler during that time, and a large number of wealth was taken from even Dwarasamudra by Khiljis. So once again, his second expedition to Devagiri was held in 1312. Second time he led an expedition to Devagiri, and during that time Shankaradeva was the ruler, and he was defeated by him, and then he captured that Devagiri also. In this way, by extending his empire, or by this conquest, he extended his empire far and wide and made a very strong empire. Well, after establishing this strong empire, Alauddin Khilji provided a proper administration to his kingdom, and there are many reforms taken by him, and some of them we have to see the administrative reforms of Alauddin Khilji. Apart from this conquest, his administrative reform. Administrative reforms. So that is number one. They had a strong central government, and king was the head of the state, and king was believed as is the representative of God on the earth, what we call the Turkish theory of kingship. In the Turkish theory of kingship, what they believe, that is, God is a representative king is a representative of God on the earth, because God is not able to exist here. In favor of him, king is there to look after people. So that is the belief, and even in the Khilji dynasty, and king is a authority for all the things, and at the same time king is given much importance, and he took various measures to make strong government. In order to make a strong government, he has taken many reforms or steps, that is, appointment of espionage or spies, and secret meetings, or prohibiting the secret meeting, because secret meeting will be a problematic, because that will affect the whole administration. That's why he wanted to stop such type of secret meeting. So then military administration. This is about the civil administration. Military administration. What are the reforms taken by Alauddin Khilji in the military administration? Number one, maintained huge standing army. Maintained huge standing army. Standing army means as like a reserve police. So during the Muhammad bin Alauddin Khilji, he maintained a huge army That means, in order to protect the empire or to control as a, autocratic state, he maintained huge standing army. Secondly, he introduced a system of branding horses. Introduced system of branding horses. While in order to prohibit or stop keeping useless horse in the military and even selling the good what you call horses in the military. So when they have the seal, introduction of branding means sealing of horses, so that can be identified either it is from military, our own military, or it was given to somebody or purchased from some other area. So to keep that quality, so they had that the branding system, what they called, this is DAIG, D-A-I-G-A, the system, DAIG. So what is the system? The system means branding of horses. And thirdly, abolished Jagir system, Jagir and paid salary in cash. Earlier, for military people, they used to give Jagir, a piece of land called Jagir. But now that was stopped. Instead of giving Jagir, they paid salary in cash. So this is one more reforms he has taken. And fourthly, he fixed pay salary. That is 234 tankas. Tanka means as a value for particular coin. But we have rupees like tanka, ana, like that tanka. 234 tankas fixed as a salary for military man, and as an extra for keeping two horses, they gave even 78 tankas. This is extra for keeping two horses. And fifthly, Aris E Mumalik. See, Aris E Mumalik is an officer and he was in charge of appointing military officers or even the soldiers. The soldiers were appointed by Aris E Mumalik, is the responsible for that. So this is what his military reforms. And then we have to see the revenue reforms. Revenue reforms of Alauddin Khilji. The first, as you know, the agriculture was the main occupation of the period. There may be a land revenue is the source of income. That's why he brought certain reforms, that is introduced scientific measurement of land. Measurement of land for fixing tax. In order to fix the tax, scientific measurement of land. That is, scientifically land was measured and tax was fixed. Secondly, imposed heavy taxes, imposed heavy taxes on sardars, jagirdars and ulemas. He fixed heavy taxes on sardars, jagirdars and ulemas. That is one more reform. And thirdly, Jazia. Jazia was imposed on non-Muslims, especially on Hindus. He fixed or imposed a special tax, that is jazia, that is a pilgrimage tax. In order to go to a pilgrimage center, these Hindus have to pay an extra tax, that is jazia. This is one more tax fixed by him. And fourthly, salary increased to stop corruption. Here, Alauddin Khilji especially, he increased the salary. What was the purpose behind this? In order to stop the corruption. If salary is less, then it lead to corruption. When they give more salary, corruption will be, very less. So this is the, thinking of Alauddin Khilji, and that is why he increased the salary. And fifthly, he collect land tax. Fifth one, land tax. In order to collect a land tax, he appointed a separate officer called Mustaq Raj. Mustaq Raj. So this Mustaq Raj, a special or a separate officer to collect land tax. So this is what one of the important changes in order to give a special responsibility. That's what I am telling. What are all the administrative system we have today? This is the copy of all the administrative system of olden days. And earlier DC was district collector was in charge of revenue collection. Here that is the Mustaq Raj. And sixthly, to protect the peasants from the corruption of the officers, because these officers, they are more corruptive and they exploit peasant. For that purpose, he has given or imposed strict punishment on such officials. So this is another important reforms in the revenue field. Let us see the market regulation. This is a very special reforms introduced by Alauddin Khilji, or market reform. Market reforms or economic reform. What is the market regulation? What we call the market regulation. So there will be a question, write a note on market regulation or economic reforms of Alauddin Khilji. And we have to see how the market regulation, market control, because people used to cheat the, or vendors, they used to cheat the people in the market by giving low quality goods, by giving less quality goods, by giving the hiking the price, all these problems will be there in the market. In order to stop that problems, what Alauddin Khilji did, that is the market regulation was introduced. What is the market regulation? That is weight and measures. Weight and measures was properly checked. It was properly checked, and the price of the goods fixed. Nobody can sell the goods beyond this fixed price. So the fixed price, the standard price in the market, and he appointed spices in the market in order to check, like investigate who are doing the mistakes and cheating the people and all these things. And especially if a vendor he may do some mistakes, and what we call, even if a vendor cheated in weight and measures, if a vendor cheated the weight and measures, he will be punished. How? How much amount of weight he cheated. For example, 100 gram. Then 100 grams of flesh used to cut from the body of that vendor. So this is the severe punishment given by him. 100 grams of flesh cut by a vendor because he cut 100 grams of something, maybe rice, maybe grains. So that particular punishment is said to be called thigh, Thigh, thigh. This is a punishment, special punishment given by Alauddin Khilji, those who did mistake in the weight and measures. So in this way, what we can see, these very strict measures were taken by Alauddin Khilji. So Khilji, after establishing a very good empire, they also provided very systematic administration in each and every step. So this is what their political and other contribution to the Indian history. In the next class, let us see the Tughlaq dynasty. Thank you very much.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.